And the meeting's being recorded. Okay, let's share my screen and hope that we do this right. Slide tools, how do I present? If anyone knows on the top of their head and wants to yell it out at me. Oh, there we go.
The right side, Kayla, right top corner, yeah.
Thank you. Okay, welcome everybody to our last Tuesday training. As of now, we have no information if we're going to do more soon. So make sure you're following us on Instagram or Facebook or anywhere where you get our information. Check our website. That is where we'll be posting information on if we are doing more Tuesday trainings. So just to go over some of the rules or the information, thank you for joining. The training will be recorded and archived on our website. So if you have missed any of our trainings up until now, they are all on our website with all of the resources. So go check those out because they are great. The presentation will be about 30 minutes and we'll have 15 minutes for questions and discussions. Today it's in English until 4:15 and then 4:15 to 5. I'm going to repeat all of the information, but it will be translated into Spanish by Myrna. If you have a question, you could either raise your hand or put it in the comment box. Julie and Brian will either answer you right away or we will answer them at the end. And if you need to speak, you can unmute yourself. And I will put a link to the handouts at the end, which I have not done yet. So you will get them. Today is our end of the month sign language presentation information. And I'm getting a call, so it took away my thing. Oh, good. If anybody wants to hear about some, no, don't play from start. Now I'm totally lost. There we go. I'm back. Okay. Sorry about that. I don't know how to disconnect my phone from my computer. I'm a pretty bad millennial. Okay. Sign language. This is our last sign language session, which was our last Tuesday of the month. So welcome. Today, we are going to talk about how to teach sign language through songs. And this will be from like little baby songs to child and high school songs, what's really age appropriate for them. Talking about how to start tactile or adaptive signing with your children or students. And then whatever time we have left, we'll just kind of go over all of the last couple months of signs that we've been learning. If it's necessary, practice makes permanent. Okay, so first we are going to start with this little deaf joke for you via TikTok. So let's see how this. Okay, and does everybody still see the video?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, thank you, Julie. So this goes by really fast. So I'm just going to I'm just going to read this. It says, when you're deaf and they try to scare you. And I just realized I had it muted. So that really worked out. Here, let's listen to it one more time. Okay. Oh gosh, now I gotta get back here. So this guy does a lot of jokes on TikTok and he just always cracks me up because this is something that a lot of deaf people were joking about on TikTok where, they're walking around with food and someone would yell boo and they just look over and they're like, oh yeah, what's up? And then like someone finger spelled boo and they were like, I'm a ghost. And then they were like, what? Totally scared. Anyway, some good humor to start it off. Okay, now I'm not quite, oh, here we go. So some songs. Um, it's a great way to introduce signs to students. I'm going to go over a bunch of videos that that are free and all on YouTube. And some of these songs are great songs to even like once you have them memorized, which they're all, repetitive and just fun. They're always fun to sing, and just kind of make them into a game with your children or students. And they're just good. They're also good visuals for children who are able to watch videos. They're good to, you can kind of like start small wherever you are with signing, like maybe just sign the core words and then it can expand. Or if there's just certain words that you want your children to learn. There's just a huge variety of songs about like colors, food, and then even popular songs are all over all over. And now I don't know how to click on my links. So, for example, this guy is signing Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus. And he is a great interpreter. There are a handful of interpreters that are on YouTube that just interpret popular songs. And they're such a great example of, like just their facial expressions, their body language, how they dance to the music, how they use like the music that's, just like O's or ahs. Like, I mean, I'll show you some examples because it looks like me switching back and forth from sharing videos is going to be a little challenging. So we are going to do it one at a time at the end. But there are just some great songs. So I'm going to talk through them all before showing them to you. Of course, it wouldn't be a sign language Tuesday if I didn't talk more about signing time with this lovely woman. This was a song that my students absolutely loved in elementary school. And I think this is even okay for middle school. And you can even make it your own eventually. But it's called the Silly Pizza Song. And you just keep putting food on top of the pizza. So the verses are all the same except for the food that gets added. And then once more and more food gets added, you keep signing all of the words. And it is really fast. But when I first taught this to my students, we would only sign the food. We weren't signing, the whole song because it was really fast. And the woman does sign the whole song, but still you can, and I'm pretty sure on her website, she had all of the foods. Like she had these beautiful cards that you could just print out and use, explaining all of the foods and how to sign them for her pizza song. But again, you can, sometimes I'll sing this song and I'll just add whatever food I want to add to my silly pizza. So this is a great song to do, to get creative. This song is for the younger children. I want to say it's You Are My Sunshine, but now I can't remember. But this is one of the songs. And again, she's very animated. This one has a lot more visuals in the background, but we'll go over, I can show you all these videos at the end. This guy, Jack Hartman, he has a whole kids music channel. And I don't feel like he's always signing, but he does have some really good signs, especially like learning the alphabet. And he goes really slow. He doesn't just like say the alphabet and go. It's a very repetitive, like A, this is letter A. And I mean, even if you're not in elementary school or your child or student isn't in elementary school, but you want to learn the alphabet in sign language, this would be a song that slowly goes over it. He very clearly shows how his hands are. And so I think it's just a great way to learn the alphabet. And then there's fun song. I mean, I was just starting to look up songs any way that I could. I mean, just like any random popular songs. And a lot of people, adapt their popular songs in sign language. And so of course we got Baby Shark, who doesn't love Baby Shark here as well. And oops. And then this is another one from Signing Time. And this is colors. So like, do you know the colors of the rainbow is this song. And this is just another, this one is slower than the Silly Pizza song. And I'm pretty sure the video has the two children also signing. And that's something I really like about Signing Time, is that they have a diverse group of children, some hearing, some deaf, some like with different abilities, some with their parents, different ages, signing the signs. And so what's great about that is that they're signing them like they all kind of look different. So when people first start learning sign language, you're usually learning from one teacher, and you're just really getting used to seeing that person sign or seeing your friend sign. You kind of get used to that. And then all of a sudden, you'll go somewhere else. You're like, oh yeah, I know sign language. And someone else will start signing to you. And you're like, oh my gosh, I have no idea what you're signing to me. You're doing all of the signs wrong. Where they're not doing the signs wrong. It just kind of looks a little different how everyone signs. We all have different hand shapes. We all, there's a thing called a signing box, which is where you sign in front of you. And some people, especially when people are deaf, it's very common to start signing in a smaller sign box, because you're just, you're signing fast and you're not, you don't have to be as expressive, where people who are new to signing usually sign bigger. For example, with finger spelling, a lot of people who are new to finger spelling will move their hand with every letter, which if you are a deaf person trying to read that, that's not going to be something easy to read. Every time they move their hand, your whole head is moving, trying to see what letter is going to come up next. Where if you are a deaf person signing to a deaf person and you're about to finger spell something, there's a lot more flow to your signs. So it's going to look really different. So for Signing Time, they just do a really good job at showing how different people will be signing the same words. And again, with different abilities, the signs might be looking different. They might be adaptive kind of to the child. And so that's another thing to kind of just know, the basics of the sign, and then knowing that it might look different depending on who's signing. So before we go back to all the videos, I just wanted to I know we've talked about tactile and adaptive signing briefly. And again, there's so much that can be talked about with tactile and adaptive signing and haptics, but I kind of just want to talk about it briefly and kind of summarize it. So there's not really like a great time to just start it. I know some people, when they still have vision, they really don't want to do it. But it's kind of something that's just like, it's great practice. If your child or student is willing to start trying tactile sign language, that's always something that you could just start practicing. And how you would practice that is really just starting to go from under their hand, because you'll start noticing quickly what signs are harder to do with their hand on top of you, like how you might have to adapt signs already. Like dog is one that I see get changed a lot, where I originally learned dog that you snap and then pat your leg in some variation. But if someone's hand is on your hand, that might not be appropriate to snap and then tap your thigh. So it would be things like that where, maybe you're just signing dog. Maybe after you snap, you would finger spell dog in their hand. There are different ways to kind of get the communication there. And with adaptive signing, that's another one where, don't not do it because you're afraid the child's not going to understand, or like don't wait to make a decision. And also don't always adapt the sign for the student. Sometimes, you show them the sign, and then when they go to sign back to you, they're going to make the adaptation themselves. I think I've said this example before. I had a student where we were teaching him how to sign hurt, which is two fingers coming towards each other. And one of his hands would stay in a fist, and the other finger would just lay on top of the other hand, and he would just go back and forth. But we knew he was signing hurt. And so he made that adaptation himself, and we would work on him trying to get that other finger to come out. But still, the point of teaching some of our children or students sign language is to get them communicating. And if they're communicating with adaptive sign language like that, that's enough. That's what we want. And it's also, what works best for the child. Don't be bombarding them with all these signs, or, don't be like pulling out your hair trying to get them to sign. I mean, this should be something, you do have to be patient and consistent, but you also, you don't want to make communication a stressful thing. You want it to, communication will make things more helpful. So you want to be teaching this, and, in a helpful way. And hand under hand, again, best technique. Even if you're trying to show a student a sign who's deaf blind, you're never going to just grab their hands and like be moving them all around. The first thing to do is put your hand under their hand and show them the sign. And then maybe if they know the sign, try, or your turn, like, because then teaching them that it's their turn to try the sign. And you can still, kind of form their hand into the position that you want without being aggressively, trying to do it. And if they're being resistant and not wanting to do it, then stop. Let's find a better adaptive way for them to sign. So that is a very summarized version kind of tactile and adaptive signs, but we only have about 13 minutes left. And yeah, so I want to go over these videos to just kind of show you the different videos that there are. So, oh good, we couldn't watch that again. So again, you can put probably any popular song. I always just do ASL. Oh good, pumpkin spice lattes, of course, come up first. Now I totally lost what I was doing. ASL, Party in the USA. So here we go. We're just going to watch like the first verse of this, just so you guys can see. And this is also something I would use for my students to show them, like, how do you know how this man is feeling? How do you know, like, how do you know this is a party in the USA? Like, his facial expressions are showing it, his body language. And then this became a whole conversation with my students on how sign language isn't just about the signs. It's, there's a lot of different parts that help communicate what you're trying to communicate. So I hope this is everybody's favorite song. Oh, I need to share my sound, don't I? Oh gosh. Julie, was my sound already?
Kayla, go up to the top where it says you're viewing Kayla's, like where it says the green bar.
Yeah.
And hold your cursor on that, and then move over to the right where it says more.
Oh, found it.
And then go down, yeah.
Okay. Whew. Thank you, Julie.
And you might want to click and make this full screen, the video.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Julie. Okay, so I'll turn it down so it's not too loud. And we're just gonna watch it first verse, maybe first chorus if I'm like really feeling it.
I hopped off the plane at LAX with a dream, my cardigan. Welcome to the land of fame excess. Am I gonna fit in? Jumped in the cab, here I am for the first time. Look to my right and see the Hollywood sign. This is all so crazy. Everybody seems so famous. My tummy's turning and I'm feeling kinda homesick. Too much pressure and I'm nervous. That's when the taxi man turned on the radio and a Jay-Z song was on. And the Jay-Z song was on. And the Jay-Z song was on. So I put my hands up to play my song. The butterflies fly away. Nodding my head like yeah. Moving my hips like yeah. I got my hands up to play my song. I know I'm gonna be okay. Yeah. It's a party in the USA. Yeah. It's a party in the USA.
Okay, so as you can see, that guy is such a great example of so many things for interpreting a song. I mean, you could even go really advanced and trying to see the signs that he is saying for the songs, like for the part where he's saying, like the DJ turns on the song. Miley Cyrus's lines kind of repeat, where it's saying like, and the Jay-Z song was on, and the Jay-Z song was on, and the Jay-Z song was on. And he said it for the first 2 times, and then the third time says like, I like that song. And then again, I mean, his facial expressions, I mean, it went through him being nervous, him being scared, him liking a song, him like stepping out and being in Hollywood. I mean, this video, and usually when I show it to kids, their first reaction is to kind of laugh at it because they're kind of thrown off by, I mean, he is performing. This isn't always, actually, I wouldn't even say that. So he is performing, but having a conversation with a person who's deaf, you wouldn't, if they're sad, they're going to be showing it. If they're confused, their face shows it. I mean, if they're happy, their face shows it. A lot of signing is communicating with, facial expressions and body language. And I just feel like this song does such a great example of that. Okay, next I will show you Signing Time, Silly Pizza Song. And so again, this woman does go much quicker, not as quick as she is showing right now, but you could also just do the food, and which is on her website. So we won't listen to the whole song. We'll just do a couple of foods, and then I'll jump to the end so you can see how crazy this silly pizza turns out to be.
When I'm feeling hungry and I don't feel like stopping, I think of silly pizzas with all my favorite toppings.
Apples!
I like apples on my pizza. I like apple pizza, please. Put the apples on my pizza. Don't forget the extra cheese. I like crackers on my pizza. I like cracker pizza, please. Put the crackers on the apples. Put the apples on my pizza. Don't forget the extra cheese.
Ice cream!
Put the ice cream on the crackers. Put the crackers on the apples. Put the apples on my pizza. Don't forget the extra cheese.
So again, that was super fast for her, or I mean, just for her show is usually not as fast, but that's a really fun song. Again, children always love when when there are silly things on pizza. Okay, the colors of the rainbow. So this is another one. And I think they actually have the examples of the other children signing the song, signing some of the words. That is definitely one of my favorite songs. Okay, and let me show you one more guide. I think it's Hartman with the alphabet. Yes, so as you see, this is a 7-minute video, and he goes pretty slowly over each letter, but he
A, this is the letter A. Apple. A, acorn. B. This is the letter B.
And what I do, I mean, I love signing time, but sometimes they can be a little extreme with the visuals. And Jack Hartman is usually pretty simple. Like as you see now, he's signing it with a clear background, just his hand. So yeah, so we can go, I'll let a couple more letters go by.
Baby. Ball. C. This is the letter C. Cat. Car. D. This is the letter D.
Okay. So yeah, so those are some of the videos. Let's see if I can go back to here. And I was just actually thinking I'm going to stop share for a little bit. I was just thinking that our page that we made at the beginning of the pandemic. Oh my gosh, I worked so much on it.
The
and I can't-
Wakelet page.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh my gosh, for how many hours I spent on that, I now forgot the name. So Wakelet is where we put a lot of resources once we were all going virtual. And on that page, we have a whole ASL resource section. And this section has stories that are in ASL, videos, music videos, ways to learn ASL for free, which is just a good bunch of resources to have. And hopefully we can put that in the chat. I can go pull it up and put it in there too.
I got it. Don't worry.
Okay, thank you, Julie. Okay, well, we're right at 4. So if we don't have any questions, then I can just go over the signs that we've gone over in the past. Or if you guys have any questions about tactile, I guess I didn't even talk about haptics, even though I kind of name dropped that. Haptics is it's used more on the East Coast, but it's a way of interpreting so people who are deafblind can know about the scene around them, like the location, like what's happening around them. So if for example, the first time I probably saw haptics really used well, it was a group of 3 people who are deafblind who were presenting, and they were talking about pro-tactile sign language, and they had haptic interpreters that stood behind them to tell them how the audience was responding to their presentation. So if they made a joke and the audience laughed, there was a way to sign that on their back so they knew how the audience was going, or if people were nodding, or if someone had their hand raised, or if someone left to go to go outside. It's things that people who can see, who have their sight and hearing might notice, and we can respond correctly. Like if we said a joke and nobody laughed, I'm sure people would be so embarrassed, but then you'd know not to use that joke for next time. Or if someone was raising their hand, that's an important thing to know while you're presenting. So just really important stuff for people who are deaf-blind to know what's happening around them. Okay. So do we have any questions